first day, okay, we just started with the first stage of design thinking, which is called empathize. So we have seen few things about empathy. What's the difference between pity, sympathy, empathy, and compassion? Okay, we said that design thinking starts with understanding the pain points of the user. Then compassion is, are you taking any action to solve the pain of the customers? So design thinking goes to the next level of creating a solutions which helps the user to create more value for their from their product or services. So then, okay, we had an empathy test. Okay, so that gives an understanding. Okay, how much empathy we do have. So basically, design thinkers. Okay, as a profession. Okay, we need to have a lot of empathy. Be in any profession, whether you are working with an academician, working as an academician, or a product manager. Okay, the empathy is the key, and we have seen that empathy is not very easy skills to be acquired, because we all have our own stressful life. Okay, we have our own emotional state that stops us to be being empathetic with other person. So we have seen a few things how we can build the empathy. So we have seen 3 dimensions of empathy through a video also. So I think we will start with this. So this is happening with a lot of organizations. So they spend millions of US dollars or Indian rupees for create a product, but the customer's expectations is something different. So designer's experience and customer experience is completely different. Okay, so this I just want to give an analogy of a cartoon. Now let me come to a real life case study. Okay, so have you at any point of life have you come across an MRI scan? So the challenge is that, okay, the entire exercise will be there for almost 30 to 45 minutes. And first of all, okay, they will ask you to wear a separate kind of dress for this particular diagnosis. Then you need to remove all, okay, the accessories, wearables. Then they will ask you to first of all, okay, lie in the table-like structure. Then it will move inside a tube-like structure. So there are a lot of scary sounds will come up. Okay, and it does not have a, I mean, so sometimes the sounds will be very louder. Sometimes there will be a lot of, okay, no sound. It will absolute silence will be there. Suddenly the sound will come. Okay, so suddenly the loudness of the sound can get increased. It is really scary. So unfortunately, I had to undergo the MRI scan for 3 times. Okay, uh, because of one major accident I had. Okay, so it is really scary, very very scary. So we may feel that, and if the MRI scan needs to be done on your head, okay, even you are not allowed to swallow your saliva also. And so that is most difficult thing. Okay, so if somebody said that don't do that, okay, normally our mind will be, okay, acting for that thing. Okay, now imagine a situation, okay, if this MRI scan needs to be done with a kid. So what do the doctors or radiographers done in the case this MRI's diagnosis need to be done with a kid? Because you will be alone in that particular room, am I right? And you need to be there in that room for 40 minutes to 45 minutes. Imagine a kid with 6 years old or 10-year-old. Okay, so is it
So,
possible to remain? So this was a real case study. Okay, so you know the experience was really pathetic, and the stress will be more for the, I mean, the parents. Am I right? More than the kids. So one day, okay, this guy, okay, his name is Doug Dietz. Okay, so he was a designer. Okay, working for GE Healthcare. Okay, now in fact, okay, we as a company, we are actually original design manufacturer for GE. Okay, so if you should talk about GE MRI machines, most of the components inside the GE machines are manufactured by us. Okay, yeah, just now what one day he saw that, okay, the one little girl was crying. Okay, so when the diagnosis needs to be done. So he had a thought that, okay, how he can create a better user experience. So he went to Stanford D School. Okay, now as I said earlier, Stanford D School's, okay, design thinking is considered to be the gold standard in the world. Their model, okay, their tools is considered the gold standard. So he understands something called human-centric approach to design and innovation. So we had a brief discussion about what is human-centric design. So after attending this session, okay, he made few changes. Okay, now I will show you few pictures. What were the changes? So he actually transformed the entire environment. Okay, he created like an adventure park kind of experience or a riding kind of experience where even okay before entering to the room, okay, kids having a different kind of dress, okay, which he or she feels that he's going for a some kind of fun ride, okay. And sometimes okay even the radiographers will have a separate kind of dress, okay. So it creates a completely different kind of experience. So what was the impact? Okay, the patient satisfaction scores went up with 90 percentage. Okay, then the most important is the kids' experience. I mean, the parents' experience was also they got relieved. So this is one example of empathy. Now assume that okay for a company or for a product, okay, we need to understand the pain points. Okay, how do we do that? So empathy is the first step is to empathize with the user. But what do you feel? What are the different techniques used for empathy? How do we understand the pain of the customers? Yeah, we can do a survey. We can talk to them. Observation. Okay. Basically, we can put into three buckets. So one bucket is immerse. So what do you mean immerse? You yourself becoming a user and try to use the product and try to understand okay what is the challenges with that particular product or service. Now what if I observe? Okay, you try to observe. Okay, for example, there is something called observation note taking. We will discuss in detail regarding that too. Assume that okay you want to understand the shopping experience. Okay, and you are trying to observe the body language of the people who gone for a shopping. Okay, maybe from their facial expressions you can assume that okay they are happy or they are not happy with that particular shopping. Now engage. You go and ask okay hey, what is your real experience with this particular product or service. So in fact, okay, we will dive deep into each of these three buckets. So let me give an example about immerse. Now, I'll ask a question. Okay, so do you feel that okay, especially in India, okay, our public transportation system, our public buildings, public utility buildings, whether they are friendly for the disabled or they are friendly for the old people? No. Now, let me give another context. If you go to a supermarket, okay, and if you really observe these, most of these things are kept in different racks. Okay, maybe we can differentiate the things into an essential things or non-essential things. The essential things can be our day-to-day grocery like onion, salt, okay, maybe rice. Non-essential can be the chocolates, noodles, okay, maybe pastry or something like that. Okay, now if you go to the supermarket, okay, where do the non-essential items will be kept, whether it will be in the top rack or on the mid rack or the lower rack? Did you observe at any point of time where do the non-essential items will be kept, whether it will be in the mid rack or top rack or bottom rack, mid to below?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
even
there
the
is,
essential items, the packaged products will be in the mid rack, and the local available things will be on the lower rack. Okay, and there is a difference between customer and consumer. What is the difference between customer and consumer? So customer is someone who buys the product, but consumer is the people who really consume it.
Yeah.
For example, in the case of chocolates, okay, maybe I may purchase this product, but the end user is the kids. So, nowadays kids becomes big influencers, and it is very easy for the kids to okay see the things, non-essential things in the mid track, and they can be get easily influenced, and they put a lot of pressure on the parents also. So what I want to say is that okay, the most of the time the supermarkets are not friendly for the or even public buildings are not friendly for the disabled people or even for the old people. So they may have to bend it down, okay, for taking the non-essential items. So they're not designed for that. Now there is a system, or there is a process created by the MIT, okay, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So they created suite called the Agnes. It is called Age Gain Now Empathy System. Okay. So once you wear this suit, okay, you can really understand the challenges of an old person. Okay. For example, they have put an ear plug which reduce the hearing ability. Okay, they have a neck collar which reduce the mobility of the neck. So they have a wrist guard, okay, which reduce the flexion. Okay, they have a bungee coats. They have a goggles, okay, which reduce the visibility. Okay, helmet, okay, which makes your head, okay, very difficult to move. So there will be elastic band which will make it very tough to do, okay, bend it down, or okay, or stretch it upwards. Okay. So once they have this kind of suit, okay, they will go to the public buildings, they will go to the supermarkets and try to understand, okay, what is the challenge for an old person. So they will give the feedback to the people like Nikita, okay. Say when you design a building, okay, this can be the probable challenge for an old person or a disabled person. So let me share from my experience. So when I had a major accident, I was almost bedridden for 6 months. Okay, so if sometimes every 2 weeks I had to go to hospital for the checkup. So I was actually in the wheelchair. Okay, so when you are in the wheelchair, okay, when you have a fracture, okay, when your body is full of injuries, each and every minor just creates a lot of pains. So unfortunately, our apartment does not have a ramp. Okay, even some hospital does not have a proper ramp. So it is not at all friendly for such kind of people. Now, if you want to summarize, the empathy can be captured through three methods. So one is the engagement, okay, or asking the customers. Observation through looking the behavior of the customers. Immersion, okay, you are trying to become a customer and try to understand the pain point. So basically this gives you two kind of data. So one is called quantitative data and one is called qualitative data. So what is qualitative data? You give a survey and you ask them to rate from 1 to 5. Maybe 1 be the least satisfied and 5 be the highest satisfied. So you have a numbers and you can easily identify, or you can easily conclude it. But qualitative is you are asking the customer, okay, how do you feel about this product? Okay. Nowadays, around 70% of the data is being produced is in qualitative in nature. Okay. Now it is very difficult for the companies to get the surveys done from the customers because they don't spend much time, and sometimes because okay, they have a less time. Most of the time the surveys will not give the right kind of picture also. So example is if you are not satisfied with the product, okay, we tend to go to the social media and we vent out our feelings. Now how do we analyze and conclude such kind of qualitative data? Quantitative and data, we can really identify the data, am I right? You can easily conclude with the data, but how do we analyze the qualitative data? So qualitative is here, okay, customer does not have any kind of structure. Okay, I mean, whatever comes to his mind, okay, he will share it in the maybe a social media or in some other platform. For example, Amazon. Okay, you might have seen Amazon reviews. So the people are not happy, people are happy. Okay, they will have a different kind of phrases. They will have a different kind of sentences. My point is that okay, customers may not be interested in a structured kind of questions of created by the company. Okay. So they may completely ignore such kind of questions, and they may actually vent out their feelings in their language. If you observe Twitter, okay, if you observe maybe Facebook, or if you observe Amazon, okay, it consists of the feelings. There is nothing quantitative, only the feelings. So earlier, okay, the companies used to analyze only quantitative data. Now qualitative data is very powerful and it gives a lot of insights. Now there are a lot of tools where we can analyze qualitative data. So basically it gives you an analysis of the sentiments of the customers, whether customers are happy, whether customers are frustrated. So there are a couple of tools which are used by the product managers or design thinkers. For example, you might be heard about programming language like R, Python, and a couple of online tools are there where we can actually go and take all the sentiments of the customers, put it into a tool, okay, where the tool will analyze and come to a conclusion. If you are interested, maybe if we have a time, okay, maybe we will do one case on a real-time basis. As a, it is very difficult to study that, but maybe for just for a demo, we can show it. So let me try to bring her at any class, okay? But it'll take approximately 1 hour to show the entire demo. So basically, quantitative data talks about a lot of marketing, demographic, survey respondents, and qualitative directly from the users. Okay. So we are little deep diving into the empathy stage. So let us start with a case study. Okay. So the case study I'm going to give you is the Book My Show. So have you heard about a web platform called Book My Show? So this is a very popular platform for booking the tickets, specifically movie tickets. But apart from movie, okay, you can even book the dramas. Even you can book the sports also. Nowadays they are actually diversing into different fields. Now assume that you three people, okay, Sadesh, okay, Nikita, and Renju is appointed as a design thinking consultant, and the task for you is improving the user experience. Okay, so if the user experiences get enhanced, they will get more revenue. So that is their selfish interest. So how can we improve the user experience? So how can we come to few suggestions to book my show? That is your task. So we will go through different tools. So that the now onwards, the entire activity will be revolving around this case study. So we'll have a clear understanding and we will come to a conclusion also. Okay. Now this case study is a bit complicated as you compare it to maybe other products. Okay. Or for example, you are talking about a mobile, okay, maybe Apple phone. You want to improve the user experience of an Apple. Okay. But this is a bit complicated. Why? So what is the exact requirement for the customer? It's a software.
Right.
That's a product. That's a product. Yeah, it's a hardware and software. Okay. Now let me give it another context. Okay. Now assume that okay, you purchased a product from Amazon. Now the product you decide, okay, you had certain kind of expectations. The product actually you got is something completely different from what you expected. So who will get the blame? Whether the seller and the Amazon, of course, they will get a part of claim. Whether Amazon also get a blame? Yes. Amazon promised that, okay, the product will be delivered within 7 days. But the delivery partner, okay, were able to deliver the product in 10 days. So it is over promise and under deliver. So who will get the blame?
Amazon.
So what is the challenge with Book My Show? So they have to, if you want to get the holistic user experience, okay, they have to influence other stakeholders, which they may not have a direct control. For example, Uber is just an aggregator. The driver, okay, whether where you actually took a ride was really bad. So again, the blame will get on the Uber. But Uber have certain kind of risk management where they ensure that okay, the drivers behave with you properly, and it is comparatively safe. Okay, so wherever you go, okay, it is always better to take an Uber ride because it is comparatively safe. Now the challenge for this enhancing the user experience is you need to deal with the different stakeholders who does where Book My Show may not have a direct influence. Okay. Now let us assume, okay, you started your consultancy work. So where should we start?
Start from our users.
Now, have you heard about something called personas?
of the
characteristics of user. So it can be a fictional characters. Okay. So typically when a new product is being, it can works on two ways. Okay. For example, Hyundai, okay, when they wants to launch i20, okay, I think you might have saw the new i20. It is really great design. So they thought that okay, this car should be used by this so and so person. Okay. So they created a maybe hypothetical personas. Then they launched this product, and finally, when they understood, okay, who are the people who purchased this product, it was actually matching. Now we should understand what are the different. Maybe in a plain sense, we can talk about segmentation of the customers. Okay. So now, can you think about what can be the different segment of the customers for Book My Show? Who can be the different kind of people? Language, obviously. Okay, I think we should think a little bit more about maybe characteristics of the users or the personality of the users. Maybe can be age, can be another definition. Maybe one segment can be the teenage group. So they have a different kind of goals, they have a different kind of objectives, okay, when they want to use this Book My Show, or when they want to go to the theater. Now there can be another segment, we can call it a serious goers. Okay, there are few people, okay, who want to see every film. Okay, so whether it is good or bad, okay, I have few friends, okay, who see every movie. Okay, and they write reviews also. And some unfortunate people like me, okay, where we need to take care of wife, okay, take care of the kids. Okay, and our intention, or my intention, we may be spending the quality time. So each personas may be having a different kind of expectations, different kind of pain points. Am I right or not? So maybe if you really understand each personas, if you really segregate each segment of personas, okay, let us take the teenage. Okay, so what can be their goals if they want to go to the, if they want to use the app, or if they want to go to the movie, what can be the different goals? Let us start with the using the web app. What can be the expectations of the teenage when they want to use the web app, or when they want to go to the movie? Now, how do they behave inside a theater? Whether they will be silent. Yeah,
acting
they'll be
also.
loud. Okay, so when the actor comes, okay, they may make a
Yes,
loud
yes.
noises. What can be the pain points? Okay, I mean, just think about what can be the probable pain points. And let us take another segment. Okay, let us take, okay, people on the middle age. Okay, and the family. Let us take us as a family goals. Okay, so what can be the goals? So there are a lot of factors which are not in the control. Like, I mean, the full control of Book My Show. But there are few things which they have can exert few control. For example, in the case of Amazon, okay, so becoming an Amazon seller is not an easy process. Okay, they need to go through a lot of, okay, documentation. They even need to go through a lot of, okay, audit process. So they want to ensure that a minimum quality is there. Maybe Book My Show can empanel only the theaters which provide sufficient quality. Okay, understood. For example, if the parking space is not good, if the behavior of the people are not good, so as a user of Book My Show, I may think that, okay, why Book My Show is such a reputed brand is engaging with such kind of movie owners or movie theaters. That is what I'm saying. Okay,
So,
percentage of influence by the movie owners, or the theater is very less. But we need to take a holistic view. Okay, so maybe as a company, where we can do any kind of influence with the other stakeholders. Okay, so maybe we will go to the next segment, and the first segment is we try to identify who are the different kind of customer segment. Second, we will try to identify who are the different stakeholders who is associated with the Book My Show. So the first step is you should understand, okay, who are the different segment of the user segments. We need to understand what are the goals, what are the pain points, and what is the context in which they operate. Okay, so that is the first step. Maybe as an exercise, maybe you can note down, okay, few customer segment or few customer personas. So the next step is we are going to understand who are the different stakeholders associated with Book My Show.